Hey, good day to you, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the ships at sea, and all those listening. Sons of Oil here again with another presentation of Insanity in America. Part 14. Snapshots, Views and Perceptions. You know, we proceed in life most of the time by what we see. That is, unless, of course, it comes to matters of faith, where we do have to believe in that which is unseen. However, there are times when, in the course of daily life, we depend on our eyes to keep us informed of what's going on, and our ears. In other words, the senses that our Father gave us. It is such a miracle, the senses that our Father gave us, especially the sense of sight, and the sense of smell, and the sense of hearing. And, you know, one of the great things about sight is that our eyes are better than high-definition cameras. They see so many things. Sure, they don't have zoom, and they can't take pictures, but they see peripherally. You know, we have stereoscopic vision because we have two eyes. But I'm going to do a little demonstration for you now, and I will explain as I get to the end of this why I'm doing this demonstration. So we're going to begin by looking at a picture. Look at there, what a beautiful rose. Taken by a camera. Roughly a 10 megapixel camera. High definition. Really nice picture of a rose. And you know, one of the good things about a camera is you can even back up and get a picture of the whole plant. But you're still looking at a square picture. Now if you lay the camera down and look with your eyes, then you can see even more. Now I'm having to illustrate this with an even farther back picture, but you know what I mean if you have ever taken pictures. You can see a lot better with your eyes than the camera sees. So now let's take a look at some other pictures. And again, just bear with me and I'll explain myself. Look at here. What have we got here? Looks like a security camera picture, maybe from somewhere in the Orient, somewhere in the East. There's a front end of a vehicle there and a bluish green fence. Looks like maybe a gate. And there's some writing on the road in some foreign language. Looks like Japanese. And it's a pretty mundane picture. It's not really too exciting. Looks like something you could see on most any security camera. But what if we could see the entire picture? What if we could see a peripheral view? Let's see what we might see if we could see the entire picture. Oh, my, look at there. This is a picture of the Japanese tsunami. But all you saw was the bottom left-hand portion. It's funny it would be on the left, because the point being made here will be involving the left. But do you see how much more you can see by seeing the entire picture rather than just the little tiny section? Let's look at another picture. Look at there. A nice little family. About, looks like maybe two sisters and their little brother standing between them out in their front yard. Looks like maybe a nice Saturday or Sunday picture, and summertime. Very relaxed looking atmosphere. But let's check out the full picture and see what we see. Oh my goodness me, the house is on fire behind them. Which is not really funny, but you know, by looking at the first picture, you would never know that was going on in the background, because they're all smiles and it just looks like a normal average day. Say, let's look at another picture. Ah, the mighty F-16, one of the deadliest planes ever created. I think our president wants to sell a few of them to Egypt. This looks like it might have been taken at an air show. You know, probably a crowd picture. Somebody took a picture of the plane doing twirls or circles or, you know, maybe flying close to the ground doing acrobatics. But let's see the entire picture. Oh, look at there. Crash fixing to happen. The pilot's ejected, got his parachute out. Plane's fixing to hit the ground, and no doubt there's going to be an explosion. Now let's look at still another picture. Ah, is there anything like the institution of marriage? Now this looks like a happy couple that's, you know, maybe taken at a party or maybe taken on their 50th or 20th wedding anniversary. She's got her head laying on him and he's got his head right up against her. You know, it looks pretty average, you know, just a married couple. But let's see the rest of the picture. Oh my goodness me, look at there. A hostage situation. Now just bear with me and we'll look at another picture here. Say, look at here. Time for the beach. Surf's up. Pretty clean, greenish blue water. Plenty of sand and sun. Looks like a wonderful time. Looks like a great time to be out in the water. But let's see the full picture. Shark! Whoops, look at that. Not really a place you'd want to be. I mean, personally, if it was me, I'd rather be on dry land than out there with Jaws. But there you go. Let's look at still yet another picture. Okay, this is a picture. Looks like an average street in some city. No telling where that could be. Could be any part of the world. Could be America. Could be South America. Could even be in the Orient. You never can tell. But it looks completely normal. But let's see the whole picture. Oh my goodness me. Now that is one big sinkhole. I believe this picture was actually taken in Paraguay or somewhere where the sinkhole was quite deep. Now you may want to ask yourself, okay, why are you showing all these pictures? Well, my purpose is simple. What you have seen is a demonstration of what you perceive by what you see versus what is really going on in the picture. In other words, this is exactly the kind of thing that our liberal progressive media, so-called mainstream media, is doing to us every day. They're only showing us a little tiny portion of the real big picture. Just showing us a little tiny portion of it. So that we think everything's fine. You know, virtually every one of these pictures represents danger. But in looking at the first picture of each one of the sets, you don't see the danger. In other words, you don't see the tsunami. You don't see the fire on the house. You don't see the plane crashing. You don't see the so-called married couple is actually a hostage situation. You don't see the two swimmers with the big shark beside them. And when you look at the buildings, you don't see the big sinkhole. Again, this is what our media is doing to us every day. They're withholding and censoring from the eyes of the public the entire picture. They're only giving us what they want to give us. That is called propaganda. Now, I know I am called a propagandist for bringing these truths forth, but that doesn't deter me one bit because I stand on a rock-solid foundation. I know the voice of my shepherd, and I know what's in my heart. And it's not to deceive, it's to bring these things forth to you so that you can understand what's going on in this world. Now, this morning our president got up and made a speech, and quite frankly, lied through his teeth. He said that the conservatives and the Republicans were making up a bunch of scandals against him to divert from the business of taking care of the country, which they ought to be interested in. And we all know how much Mr. President is concerned with the country and its well-being. I mean, ask the coal miners that are out of work, or the frackers, or the people that had jobs drilling for oil out in the Gulf who no longer have jobs. But after the president gave his heartfelt speech, then he was backed up by his little parrot, Jay Carney, who also said that these were a bunch of pretend scandals. Pretend scandals, huh? Well, I don't really think they're pretend scandals because they affect millions of people and they are real. I mean, let's talk about all the Americans being watched by Big Brother through the NSA. You know, watching Facebook and even YouTube channels and blogs, or listening into our phone conversations or our cell phone conversations, or watching our iPads where we go online. You know, it's funny that all the targets of these people seem to be Americans and, quite frankly, moreover, conservative or Christian Americans. Hey, you want to talk some real scandal? Let's talk some real scandal. How about our Department of Justice head, Eric Holder, in Fast and Furious, a.k.a. Guns for Mexican Drug Cartels? Or our president selling F-16s to Egypt? Yeah, that's going to turn out well with all the turmoil that's going on over there and the riots in the streets. Yeah, they need some of our own F-16s. I mean, they wouldn't use them against us or anything, or let Iran have them. And how about the IRS targeting of conservatives? I mean, nothing to that, right? It's all made up. I mean, except to the people that were actually targeted. Or how about Benghazi? 4 Americans dead. And the soldiers that lived through it, and the ones that were dispatched, that is, 20 hours later, were forced to sign oaths of secrecy. Now, why would they need to sign oaths of secrecy? Wasn't that a heroic act? Or how about the DOJ's attempted witch hunt and overrule of justice in the Martin Zimmerman case to go after George Zimmerman, even after he was acquitted? Or how about the way the DOJ is going after Texas for requiring voters to show an ID to stop voter fraud? Or how about SEAL Team 6, exposed and put in harm's way over in Afghanistan in an old 1960s Chinook helicopter, when we've got much better equipment than that? How about the Muslim cleric that called them infidels and said they deserved their death? And a mother got a hold of the DVD of the funeral and had it translated and found this out. How about the pissed off unions who put this president in office 2 times and are now angry because they were used and they're not getting what they were bribed with? Or how about the president's own words in 2008 when he said, and I quote, if anyone remembers, and I do, "I will cut the deficit in half in my first term." Wonder how he knew he was going to have a second term. But instead of cutting the deficit, he added $7.7 trillion to it. He's not cut so much as 1 red cent. And how about all the presidential executive orders and privilege laws that he signed into power, skirting the Congress and the Senate, going against the will of the American people? How about all that? Hey, America, wake up. Once again, submitted for your approval, Insanity in America. I hope you understood what I'm trying to point out to you here by the little tiny bits that you're being shown versus the motion picture huge jumbotron screen of what's really going on. At any rate, there you have it. Wake up, America. Wake up.